Am I the asshole for calling out my kid's teacher for talking down to me? I was at my daughter's teacher conference. I was still wearing my work clothes, I am an electrician, and uniform is somewhat dirty. I start talking to me in a baby voice using very simple words and speaking slowly. Your daughter needs help with her math homework. Do you know what fractions are? I have accrued 60 college credits and I read all the time, but I guess since I fit the blue-collar mold I must be stupid. I kept my cool though and asked her if she always assumed the level of intelligence of parents based on what clothes we wear. She started getting defensive like she was only trying to be helpful, and didn't mean anything by it. I told her that in the future I would rather she talk to me like a normal person. Now my wife thinks I made the teacher look bad for no reason, and I should have let it go because she meant well. I feel like that was pretty disrespectful though. Am I the asshole? Nice one, not the asshole. Your wife is wrong, the teacher made herself look bad. For bonus points, if this ever happens again, you could talk back in a baby voice. Very slowly. Yes, I know what fractions are and I think math is a very important subject. I need it at work all the time. Quote, not the asshole. Yes, the teacher has assumed things about you. And yes, it can happen, if you had to deal with some kind of parents. But you just corrected her, nothing major. You are not reporting her, you haven't yelled at her. And honestly, talking to any adult in a baby voice is just disrespectful. Geez, your wife takes the teacher's side without being there. Not the asshole, no way being spoken down, you did really well. My eldest son had a rather tall teacher when he was in his first year of school. I went to his first parent-teacher evening and said hello. As my ex and I were shorter than her, she crouched down and put her hands on her knees to speak to me, literally talking down to me. She was mortified when I crouched down and put my hands on my knees to reply, grin. Not the asshole. Asking an electrician if they know maths is next level ignorance. I am betting that teacher would have a really hard time passing an electrician's authorization test. Not the asshole, sometimes you have to match energy. This was one of those times. You were right to call her out. Am I the asshole for telling my parents that they neglected me because of my brother's illness? So I'm a 16-year-old girl and I have an older brother who is 20 and he moved out about 2 months ago. My brother has misophonia. I don't know everything about the illness and I don't want to say anything wrong, but it's basically being triggered by certain sounds. He was diagnosed at 7 when I was 4 and he has a very strong version of the illness, I think. Me and my brother used to get along okay, but it got worse after that. Funnily enough, all of his triggers were connected to me. My laughing, my walking, my eating, everything seemed to trigger him. I remember my father yelling at me when I was like 6, because I laughed while my brother was also in the car. I wasn't allowed to eat dinner with them. My parents would eat with him and when he was finished he could leave and then I could get my food. I didn't even really understand what was going on, because I was a little kid. I was often alone, because I couldn't go anywhere with them and would trigger him, and when we did something together it didn't feel the same, because even alone, I was always scared to do something wrong and get yelled at. Even in school I would barely talk or laugh. I was never very close with my family and spent most time alone in my room or with friends outside. Since my brother moved out, my parents are trying to get me to connect with them more. This morning my mom asked me if I wanted to go see a movie with her and I was already in a bad mood, because I was stressed due to exams, so I sorta just snapped and told her I didn't want to and to stop trying to fix things with me, because it was ruined and that she couldn't fix the neglect they put me through simply by watching a movie with me. She then yelled back at me and told me to stop being jealous of my brother and that they were doing the best they could and that they didn't want to neglect me and just tried to take care of my brother. I just left after that and both my parents have been ignoring me all day and now I feel kinda bad. I still RLLY love them. ATAH? Not the asshole, and I suspect your brother was the jealous one, not you. Too convenient that all his triggers came from the sibling with whom he was competing for parental attention. And they didn't do their best, they gave in to him and neglected you because it was easiest. Honestly, I don't think there's much of a chance they'll actually recognize how badly they hurt you unless they get therapy and really listen and do the work. If they won't do that, just gray rock them and get out ASAP, and when they wonder why they aren't invited to your wedding and haven't met their grandkids, tell them it's their own fault for letting your brother push you out of the family without ever standing up for you. Just because he needed more doesn't mean you deserved less. Not the asshole. Why didn't your brother have his meal in his room so you, his little sister, could have some time with your parents? What awful behavior by your parents. Not the asshole, and your parents handled this weird. Why not noise-canceling headphones at dinner? Why not therapy? Not the asshole. If your parents were as concerned with you as they were with your brother, they would have split up and given both of you the same attention. They could have easily made the choice to have one of them eat with your brother and afterwards have the other one eat with you. The same goes for outings and activities around the house. There's no reason you should have been the one that was always left out. I have misophonia. I realize this is a me problem. When it gets too much, I leave the room or have music playing while we eat. It's a much better solution than killing my friends with a butter knife for chewing too loud. Not the asshole, and your parents failed you. They also failed to help your brother cope apparently. Let's see how accommodating the real world will be. Am I the asshole for making my friend buy me a whole new bathing suit after it was returned with a shit stain? So this happened a couple weeks ago, and there's still tension in the friend group over it, so I figured I'd ask Reddit. I, F19, went on a girls' trip to Miami with some friends. One of my friends, F21, let's call her Mia, asked to borrow one of my bathing suits since she forgot to pack one. I was fine with it, so I let her wear a matching two-piece set that I've only worn a few times. Before giving it to her, I was aware that she has IBS. She's been open about it before, and I didn't think it would be an issue. I figured she'd take care of it, and if something did happen, she'd be honest about it. Well, fast forward to the end of the trip, she gives the bathing suit back. I didn't look closely at it right away because I just shoved it into my suitcase to wash later. When I finally got around to doing laundry, I saw that the bottoms had a visible shit stain. I was mortified. It was clearly washed, but not well enough. And, although some of the girls disagree, it was definitely ruined in my opinion. I texted her about it and she apologized, saying she wasn't feeling great that day and that she did her best to clean it, but the fabric is light-colored and very thin, so the stain is just there. I told her she'd need to replace the bathing suit, and since the matching bottoms aren't sold anymore, that meant getting me a whole new one. She said she'd only pay for new bottoms because the top is fine. I told her that doesn't work for me. The bathing suit was a matching set, and now I can't wear it at all. She called me inconsiderate and said I knew she struggled with IBS. A few girls are saying that I should have just said no if I didn't want to risk something happening. They also say I'm being too harsh since it's just a bathing suit and she didn't do it on purpose, but I feel like if you ruin someone's clothes you should replace them. Period. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She buys you a new set and keeps the old one for herself. That's fair. Not the asshole. She's being real tacky. She literally shit-stained the bottom. I'd be mortified to give it back to you. And she should be mortified of fighting you over a whole new suit. I didn't even need to read this to vote not the asshole. Not the asshole. Her IBS is not a blanket reason to ruin other people's clothing. Frankly, if I had done anything like that to someone, I wouldn't even give it back. I would just, on the down low to avoid embarrassment, go up to you and be like, hey, so there was an accident, I'm super sorry, I'll pay for a new one. Or if she's able to find the same bottoms somewhere, then maybe I'd be cool with that. But yeah, no, that's totally on her. Not the asshole. She should have admitted what happened and offered to pay immediately. If it were me, I wouldn't have returned it, just straight offered to buy a full replacement. This is the problem is someone else's asshole post ever in a tasshole. Am I the asshole for not letting someone work in during sets at the gym? I, 28F, have been going to my local gym for a good 2-3 years now. I've been using the same machines, routine, and it's done me well. In the past couples of months, I've noticed an older man doing his circuit workout by doing one set on multiple machines. I call him Hopper as he just bounces from machine to machine. On 2 occasions, he's asked me to work in whilst I'm resting. Each time it's been on my last set, so I tell him, it's my last set, I'll be 2 minutes and it's all yours. If I just got on the machine, I would be more inclined to let him as I do 3 sets of 10 reps with 2-3 minute rests in between, and since I'm aware of his routine it's not any harm. But on both occasions, he's thrown a fit saying how I'm selfish and unbelievable because I've said no. He doesn't ask nicely either. Just, can I hop in as you're resting? No please, or is it okay? Do you mind? Which irks me because if that was me, I would be super polite as I'll feel I am intruding, disrupting them. Another reason as to why I say no is because this guy never carries a towel or wipes down the machine. So in my responses I say how I'm a bit of a germaphobe and don't want someone else's sweat whilst I'm on a machine. His response to this is just eye-rolling. I bring a towel with me to wipe down machines after I use them and use the gym sprays to clean them before use. I know the argument of why go to public gym then, but it's what I can afford and living in London I can't condemn spending for a high-end gym. I wish I could though. I've read other posts discussing about how you should allow people to work in, but most instances are during peak hours. I am going at 6 a.m. when it's quiet, so I can do my workout in peace. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Allowing someone to work in with you is a nice thing to do, but you are not obligated to share your equipment. Frankly, I dislike working in with most people and will only ask or accept if the gym is seriously packed. Moving plates around and adjusting the equipment often seems like it takes more time than just waiting for your turn. Regardless, you do not owe anyone your spot on the gym equipment. Nah, he's just impatient, as long as you aren't taking long rests between sets. Sorry you had to deal with him. I think you handled it well saying you'll be done soon, given it's in a happy tone. And working in is awful anyway, but he doesn't wipe down? Revolting. Is it not mandatory where you go? Not the asshole, he wouldn't do this to a man. Stand your ground. Not the asshole, and he's really the asshole for not wiping down the equipment. Ew. Of course you don't want to follow him. Not the asshole. You told him you had one set left, he should have just waited. I personally don't like working in with people. I've only ever been asked once, and it was just annoying having to keep readjusting the weight and wiping the machine. If I want a machine that's in use, I'll do something else while I'm waiting. Or if it's literally my last exercise, then I'll just wait around by the machine and try not to stand too close or look at the person using it so they don't feel rushed.